My name is Keneni Tesema. I am originally from Ethiopia, and I studied electrical engineering and automation in China prior to coming to the center to join the CDT program. The title of my MSc is the evaluation of state-of-the-art completion algorithms and human-in-the-loop approaches towards subsea survey. My supervisors were Dr. Gary Tam, Professor Mark Jones, Dr. Lyndon Hill from VAST, the stakeholder, and Dr. Munib. My project partner is VAST. It's a marine surveying company based in Bristol. And what they do is they send out remotely operated vehicles out to the sea for companies who have subsea assets. So they collect the data, and that data is used for maintenance of those assets. The aims of my MSc is to make a completion algorithm that would facilitate completion of point cloud data that is taken undersea. Right now, there are not many algorithms that can operate on offshore data, so the data they get is usually incomplete, and you can't really do maintenance with an incomplete data. If something is deformed, you've got to know. So I'm working towards that. In the future, we're going to add human gaze modeling and human attention, so bring more humans in the loop and make them the decision makers in the completion process so that the completion is better. So the first part of my master's was a literature survey, so I had to read like about 60 papers on completion algorithms. So the first part is a literature survey and taking insights from that. The second one is implementing source codes from GitHub of those completion algorithms, and I've attempted about 5 of those. One has successfully run, and we tasted it on a real world data which we got from VAST. It was the data of a Ford car that was underwater in their training center, and they took a point cloud of that, and then we tested the algorithm on real world data, and it did not perform well as we expected it to. So the future direction would be to make algorithms that can deal with real world data better. The key findings include most of the current state-of-the-art algorithms have too many constraints on the input, so it has to be at a certain scale, at a certain number of points, otherwise the algorithm would just break. And it was very frustrating. The other thing is that most of the source codes that are available they do not work with the newest graphic cards, so that is a finding, and we need to change that. We need to update it. There's lack of training data, so most of these algorithms are simulating real-world situations on a synthetic data, but it did not work very well when we tried it with the real-world data. We'll be testing more algorithms. We'll be updating their source codes so that they work on better, newer graphic cards. We have tried to denoise the real-world data and see if it has effects. So we're going to try that with more data other than cars. We'll try to test it with actual subsea assets like wind turbines. The part I enjoy the most is actually the most frustrating part as well, which is like the coding bit. Because I'm in this program to be an expert in machine learning, while making sure that it is done in a human-centered way. So I realized that so much time and so much effort could be saved if the codes were written with readers in mind. So that was the part I enjoyed the most, and also the part that frustrated me the most. But I'm also looking forward to talking to the experts, because we've talked about including human in the loop approaches. That is like the major part of PhD. So we're going to see how the experts look at the data and what they determine it, and then we're going to use that feedback to train the machine learning model that we hope to develop. So I'm looking forward to that. Well, I wasn't really sure I was going to be able to join because I was from an electrical engineering background. I had doubts about being part of computer science, although I was interested in coding. What I found in the center is that it's full of different people from different backgrounds, and you will feel welcomed here. Not in the first 2 weeks, obviously, but after that, you'll just settle in and you'll be family, and there would always be someone to help you out with something.